Okay, we're live. So I um I think I really need to kind of punctuate this particular conversation and say that it was about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago that I started to incorporate the UFO UAP thing into this channel, and that comes from my contact. And certainly I brought up in my own language, in the best way that I thought that I was communicating, that indeed there would be a ramping up of this kind of activity. And I'm looking back and I'm seeing some of the titles and some of the things that I said, but I wanna I I think I need to be a bit more clear in saying that over the next couple weeks, just like there was, if you look back to the dump that we had of data yesterday, going all the way to the op-ed, and if you really read that, the op-ed piece in The Hill, also from the Post, from Fox News and other outlets, as well as now people on YouTube catching on, they're talking about this process that we're already in, this process of confirmation, and that's what we're in. And I talked about it, that we would be going into this process of confirmation, and now we're in that process. But I probably should have been a bit more specific and a bit more literal in telling you that this process is here. This is not a philosophical debate. There are bills now that are being formed by senior members of Congress in order to provide and procure everything that's needed in terms of resources and allocation of this particular resources, depending on departments and department heads, for the understanding and for the sort of and for the reaction, and for whatever reaction that is needed for the incursion of these UAPs and UFOs on our airspace. And I really need to drive home, and people really need to actually listen, because I talked about Luis Elizondo and the way he was speaking, and I said I played it over and over again a couple of weeks ago, where he's literally saying that we don't know, how they're driving, which implies, but he's not saying it, but I'll imply it for you. He's implying that there's intelligence, using these vehicles. We don't know, what they're flying, how they're flying it, calling it a craft, all of these things. They're quite literally telling you these things are here. They are alien in terms of they're not human as we know human beings. They are in the airspace, and they are among us. And this is going to ramp up even further over the next 2 weeks or so. So I would like to put a pin in in this episode, in the plainest language that I can possibly say, just like I did 2 weeks ago about what happened yesterday. And I would like to be the outlet that you come to hear what's going on, because that's what's happening. And that op-ed is more than just an op-ed. What it is, it's a wrangling of those senior officials to give them backing for less senior officials and other members of Congress and all the other folks that this whole, the whole machinery is involved to get it moving towards to get it moving towards this kind of process, to get it underway. Also, too, there needs to be a communication process that needs to be underway in order for people to understand that we have almost, not just monthly, but much more than monthly incursions, not just on our airspace. We have it in our military facilities and all around our pilots. And I enclosed, and I highly recommend that you go to the Tucker Carlson interview with Christopher Mellon. He's the former DIA director, and he says here, the Pentagon officials told him the commanders of our carrier battleship groups, being by far the most advanced in the world, stated this is a plea for help because of the sheer numbers and vastness of these UAP incursions while stalking our military installations and governments globally, and there's not a damn thing we can do about it. Not to mention, many of these incidents they're occurring more rapidly in recent years. They don't know why these incursions are happening more rapidly, and I need you to absorb that and to understand it. and this isn't an alarmist thing. What this is just me simply trying to. Can everybody hear me out there, by the way? Because I've been going on and I just realized I haven't looked in the chat, and I hope everybody can hear me okay, because I thought let me see here. I just realized my screen freezes up all the time. It's YouTube. It has the two. Do you guys, okay, sounds great. Thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate that. So I need for everyone to know that. And within the next 2 weeks, there's going to be another drop like this. 2 weeks from now, there'll be another drop like we had yesterday. And what I'll do is I'll deliver that to you, but I need to say it in a very specific and plain way to everyone that it's going to happen. And it will be only one part of an ongoing process of the human experience and the changing of that human experience. A UAP is exactly like a UFO. Whenever I say UAP, I think it's the version the way it's in the UK and other parts of the world. In America, or North America, we happen to say UFOs. Well, actually, Gabriel, it was different because as I stated, and if you actually look, we have an op-ed, a national security op-ed piece, The Hill, for UFOs, and that's pleading for the resources. And if you know how the machinery works, this is the pressure is going to start mounting in order for Congress to act. So it is actually quite different than 2017, and the very plain language that's being used from the Tucker Carlson and the former DIA director, Mr. Mellon, Christopher Mellon, is very plain. And in terms of not just categorizing, you have to really listen to what they're saying to you. There's active incursions on our bases, on our facilities, on our carriers, and on our battleship groups. Also, too, I just need you to keep that in mind, and that all of those things are coming together. And because we are in a republic, a lot of people mistake it a democracy. We're not in a democracy. We're in a representative republic. It's very sloppy and it's very messy, but it's the best we have so far in terms of being Americans, and in terms of everyone else. You know, I can't speak for other countries in the incursion into their airspaces or anything else, but I can speak about this. I probably can speak pretty much. No, anyway, so I'm just saying that there's no reason to be frightening. It's just it's a part of the human condition. The only thing that's frightening is that you're experiencing a change in the human condition. There have been changes in the human condition from the very beginning, and there were, according to quote unquote scientists, whatever, that there have been abrupt changes to the human condition and their understanding of their environment around us. And what you have is you have a veil over you, and that is going to lift, and you're going to be able to understand your environment better. So there's no fear. You just need to understand that your understanding of and your interaction with your environment is going to be a bit different, and it's going to be evolving, and it's going to be ongoing, and it that's what it is, and that's what it means, and that's really all I wanted to say in terms of this. But if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm not. I'm just a regular person. I'm not. I don't. I'm just saying that it was 2 weeks ago. It did happen exactly as it was told to me that it was going to happen. So it's going to happen again, and it's going to continue to happen, and it's all out in front. And they're telling you, and I guess they're going to have to calibrate the way in which they explain how our human condition is going to change for all of us, and the way in which we're going to adapt those environmental changes and understand those variables. There's going to be a kind of re-understanding of what it is to be a human, what it is to work with one another, and that's all this is. and it happens. It has happened before with us, and it will certainly happen again. And this is just part of that process. So, you know, um, I think there's a huge breakaway space civilization. I don't know anything about that. Maybe, Gabriel, could be. I have no idea about that. Um, I just found out that my internet is using 5G, and you're still alive, Jeannie. Well, good on you, because I heard 5G, we're all going to melt or something. So there you go. If there's anything else, just, let me know. I don't mean to be curt or anything, but I'd realized that for 2 weeks I'd been talking about it. It dropped, and I need, just to say that's, mark a pin in it. I like how you think, prelim, which is reality. I like that. They call it the secret space programs. Yeah, I don't know anything about secret space programs. I mean, I hear a lot of and that's what I'm talking about too. Let me talk about that too. I think it would be very helpful for people brought up another YouTube channel that went down. What would be really helpful for the entire community is start putting your sources in there. I have so many sources here that you can go through, and I'm begging you to go through them. Please go through them and listen to them. And if you don't, then I'll just be blunt like this: that these things are going to change. They're happening now. There are radical changes happening within our government and within our military in terms of our environment and how we react to our environment, and that we're just going to have to adjust. And we're human beings, so we're able to do that. We have the capacity to adjust, and it's going to be okay. So Wilcock and all that. Oh, the speaker space program. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, to that I say it would be more. I think it's more helpful to talk about the things we do know. What do we have? We have an escalation in terms of media coverage. New York Post, Fox News, The Hill. We have an op-ed from The Hill that's plainly asking for allocation of resources, dollars, time, and all of that. And there needs to be some kind of blanket group that will be able to understand and react with these things. And people will say, "Oh, well, this is just a side or whatever." And what happens? And now I'm going into the speculation mode because I don't know at this point. What if these things do show up? You're going to be mad at your government for saying, "Why weren't you on the ball with this?" Well, this is I think their attempt. And again, I am in speculation mode right now. This is their attempt to get on the ball. So in case it does show up, why weren't you on the ball and knowing what this is and what they want? This is that. So, and for me, this is a new arena because you guys are spitting out all kinds of really great information that I don't really know a lot about. And I'm trying to associate and understand what's happening. It's just happening lightning fast. And I'm trying to understand it as I go and learn as I go. So, exopolitics author. Okay. I'll see about that. Some of these names I'm not understanding. So yeah, it's a very interesting time. It's a very exciting time. I implore you to, and find resources of your own or, and I know that there's all kinds of different papers out there. There's other YouTube channels that are fairly reputable that are out there talking about this as well. Affected Collective. Yes. I used to be Twitter friends. I wish she would come back to Twitter and talk with me because she was awesome. Isn't it a cause of concern that President Trump is in office? That's a concern that is probably a bit for, it seems to me a bit partisan. But I think I'm trying to look at the long term. Yeah, I miss her too, Prelim. I miss her very much. She put up together great videos and was very insightful. I'm thinking more long term, like 1,000 years. Not really 8 or 4 or whatever it is we're dealing 2 years if he doesn't make. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm thinking more like 1,000 years on out and things like that. So yeah. So that is that. So I'll try to answer questions as they come in, and hopefully we can, and I'm learning this as I go. Anyway, thumbs up, everybody, please, if you don't mind. That would help me out quite a bit again. tell everyone about the channel. It's still primarily a Mandela effect channel, but as you go down into this, you start realizing one of the major prerequisites of understanding, it's a testament to your honesty that you're explaining this. Oh, thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate that. Thank you. There's going to be an Antichrist figure. We're willing to keep our eyes open for intuition sharp and be not deceived. Okay, Lisa. CERN nuclear may be upsetting the extra dimensional beings is my thought. Yeah, I don't know, Michael. It's a possibility. I don't know anything about that. Better late than never. Exactly. Tattoo dude 418. Exactly. So I'm just gonna say what my sources said, and I'm not going to. I can't. And my speculation was what I said was speculation. Everything else, I can just say, please look at the material that's already out there. If you already have an inherent distrust, I can't really do much about that, and I can't blame you. I totally get it. So that's pretty much where we're at here. I didn't plan on coming on today, but I needed to come on. So, all right, I gotta go ahead and get out of here, people. So that's what I got. Thank you very much, everyone. See you tomorrow.